Ready to take your audio game to the next level? Well, in this YouTube video, what I'm going to show you is why RØDE and what they've just released is going to be a game changer for most business owners and most content creators in 2023. So if you haven't been living under a rock, you would have seen that RØDE has released a new product, and that product is called the RØDE Wireless Pro. Now, there's a difference between the RØDE Wireless Go, the RØDE Wireless Go 2, and the RØDE Wireless Pro. And what I'm going to explain are the three really key factors of why I feel like the Pro version is going to be a really big game changer for most business owners and most content creators. The first one is that it's got 32-bit float. Now that natively records into the devices as well. So there isn't some external thing that you need to buy to go alongside this to kind of extract that 32-bit float. It's recorded natively into the devices. And why this is important, and if you don't know what this is have you ever recorded a video where you feel like all you hear is that crackling or that really high pitch, and it's just a really bad experience when you've got headphones on or when you're listening to it on a device like your iPhone or your computer? And 90% of the time that is caused because after a certain decibel, the volume is still increasing, and it's just really not a great experience, especially when you're trying to produce content for yourself or, most importantly, your clients. What 32-bit float does is it effectively eliminates the risk of that happening. You don't have to set any decibel levels, you don't have to do anything on the device. It just natively records and allows you in post-editing to bring up or bring down the volume for that specific video and that specific audio file. And why I feel like this is both an underestimated value for most people when they're going to buy this device, and also why it's going to be super important, is majority of the time in this day and age, people are creating content in outdoor environments. They're not creating content in soundproof rooms. They're not creating content in rooms in which the volume is quite low. Most importantly, most content creators are going out there and interviewing people. For example, have you ever seen in a TikTok or an Instagram or a YouTube short of someone interviewing someone with that RØDE Interview Go? Now, let's say, for example, the person you're interviewing just has a really deep voice or a really high voice, or they're just feeling like they have to match the volume around them. Trust me, you think this isn't going to be a big factor, but 90% of the time it is, because people feel like they have to, for some reason, elevate their volume to match the room, which I think is just human nature. But what 32-bit float allows us to do is it means you don't have to worry how loud that person is screaming. You don't have to worry how loud that music is. You don't have to worry about how loud that person is talking, because in post, you know that that recording is going to be pristine every single time. Which the whole theme of this video, guys, is allowing you to see that if you can increase the likelihood of your workflow being nice and simple, the content you're going to create for both yourself and your clients are going to be much, much better and have a lot more impact in your profile, in your network, and for your clients, because it's just easier. When things are hard, when things are complicated, people just don't do them, right? So when you eliminate the likelihood of you having bad audio, it is really a game changer. And I think once people understand that, and once there's more reviews, once the product's in people's hands, people are going to see the benefit of this astronomically compared to what they were doing before. The second point that I want to bring up is the internal storage. Now, there's a lot of people at the moment saying that, like high-end film production people and people that want to have the ability to have external storage, it's not a great option. But if you think about it, like imagine having over 40 hours of recordings built in that you can most importantly come back to when you want via RØDE Central. And most importantly, you can have multiple versions saved in there without having to worry about any corruption or any lost SD cards. I don't personally use DSLRs yet. I'm going to transition into that very soon. But one of the biggest anxieties that I have around going to DSLRs is that I'm going to have to rely on SD cards for both the audio and also the video. Now I only have to worry about the video file. I don't have to worry about the audio file. I don't have to worry about the camera failing. I don't have to worry about any of that failing. And that's what I think another thing that people need to think about. Yes, you can have internal storage for backups on your iPhones and your cameras. They naturally internally store that stuff. But at the same time, imagine if that was corrupt. Imagine if that file was corrupt. And when you're on the production line of creating content for clients, and in that kind of industry, you don't have the luxury of going back and asking your client to recreate that scenario. Often you only get a couple of opportunities because the person filming that video or getting recorded is nervous, is anxious, and has also a lot on their plate as well, especially for content that we've created in the last 6 to 7 months. And what the best thing about this is that internal storage means that we don't have to worry. We know that, first of all, the 32-bit float is going to cover the clipping, but at the same time, we don't have to worry about anything in terms of internal storage. We don't have to carry around any storage. I can just film and record, and everything is going to be situated inside that side as well. And also, as we progress into our kind of third point in this video, podcasts are becoming massive, right? It's super important to think about how your content creation is going to develop in 2023. And one of the biggest things that have changed, and you'll not naturally start seeing this more and more, is that you've got multiple cam kind of videos. So I'm recording on this camera here, and I've also got a video recording over there as well. So how do I match that up? Or most importantly, how do I match the audio up? And that's where RØDE's innovation comes in, called timecode. Now, timecode can sync your audio to your video naturally via the device. So whatever's recording on the device, you can plug in a cable via the RØDE cables into your DSLR or your phone as well, and it can just sync up in terms of your timecode. And what that allows you to do is, for example, if you've got a multicam podcast, you can just sync up both of those cameras to make sure that the audio syncs up. And trust me, in post-editing, one of the most frustrating things you'll ever go through is trying to get that audio synced up with the video, because natively, these iPhones that are recording the multicams that I'm recording on here have audio recording into them, which is not ideal. However, through the Rodecaster Pro 2, I've got an audio file that's being created, but that audio file needs to be synced between the two iPhones. And obviously, I'm not going to carry around the Rodecaster Pro 2 when I'm out and about filming content for clients and myself. So having the reliance or having the ability to know that timecode is available on a device that is literally this size, like look how small that is, right? So I have the Rode Wireless Go, the Rode Wireless Go 2, and I'm probably soon to be able to get the Rode Wireless Go or Rode Wireless Pro. I need to get my head around that name. But at the same time, would it be beneficial for me to upgrade? And that's the kind of fourth and final point that I want to bring up in this video. Do you feel like you need to upgrade, or do you need to upgrade, for example, if you have the Rode Go 2? So what I want you to think about is this going to allow you to have a better workflow? How much time is it going to save? One of the ideas around me getting the Rodecaster Pro 2 was that it saves me probably about 30 to 45 minutes per day, the way that I record my videos in vertical or horizontal, and the way that I can guarantee every single time the audio is going to be recorded at the highest amount of capacity, and I can just drag and drop from the Rode Central app, right? It's easy as, it's so much simpler than what I was doing before, and the audio is 10 times better. So for me, that justification, 45 minutes each day, is a massive amount of time, considering I've only got a certain amount of time available in my day. And also, how many times have you had corrupt audio files? How many times have you had clipped audio files? How many times have you wished that you could have a charging case on hand, or a cable that syncs with every single device, which is what Rode also has now? So these things here are usually USB-C, but they can only work with certain devices, right? You need dongles and cables and so forth. With the new features on the Rode Wireless Pro, it's universal. It works with every single device, and it's much easier to be able to get that ecosystem working for you. So these are things that you need to think about if you're willing to cough up the $800+ that Rode is wanting for you to buy this. Now, I feel like that's super cheap. Like, that is really cheap for the amount of capacity that you're getting, the amount of equipment you're getting. You're getting 2 professional lav mics. You're getting magnets that you can connect the Rode Wireless Pro onto this isn't the Rode Wireless Pro, but the device onto the back of your phone. For example, if you're using iPhones, it can mount anywhere you need. It's got windshields, it's got charging cases, it's got carrying cases. it's effectively what I feel like, although it's got the pro name and it's got the pro capabilities, an amazing starter kit for the everyday content creator. When I say starter kit, I'm not saying it's cheap and nasty and you've got to have a ability to grow. I feel like you're just taking one hit and one hit only. You're spending $800+, but you're never going to have to spend any more. You've literally got everything you want, and you've got a Rodecaster Pro 2 in the palm of your hands. And that's where I feel like you've got to make that decision. Is it more valuable for me to have all of these capabilities at my hands, or am I only wanting certain characteristics? If you only want certain characteristics, just go with the Rode Wireless Go 2. I feel like that fits into most people's ecosystems. It's got two receivers and one transmitter, meaning that you can have a conversation or a podcast. You can do a lot. It can connect to the Rodecaster Pro 2. You can use the Rode Central app. There's just a few other things that just aren't included. 32-bit float recording isn't there. The universal capabilities aren't there. However, I guess it's the same scenario that you have every year when iPhones get released. Do you really need the latest and greatest? Is it for your business, or is it for personal use? For business use, hey, cool, we get another tax write-off. Yeah, it really comes down to personal preference. And just because I have so many Rode products doesn't mean I'm Team Rode. I'm just Team Reliable. And Rode, for me, since the dawn of my content creations, has been the most reliable piece of equipment that I've had in my arsenal. And the amount of compliments, the amount of kudos I get from creating high-end content, and that stems from really good audio, is truly remarkable. So if you're on the fence thinking about should you invest in it, just maybe wait for the reviews to come out in, let's say, October, end of September time. Make more decisions there. This video is really just to give you an understanding of what is this and how can I utilize this in my arsenal. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you comment down below in September, October time if you get your hands on one of these devices. And most importantly, if you've liked anything, if you want to see anything different, comment down below. We're more than happy to create more content for you. But of course, I'll see you in the next video.